Hi guys, so I'm here at home and I wanted to make a video with you guys. If you're aware, if you were following me on Instagram, a week ago on Sunday, I got very sick suddenly and it was a really intense experience. I'm feeling much better, so in this video I'm going to talk about the experience and then a little bit about the hospital in Korea, but I'm not going to go too much into like my actual health. Just know that I'm doing well and I'm going to be fine and just a little bit of medicine for a while and I'll be okay. But I want to say also how much support and love I got was really intense, and I was like crying because I was so happy. So many people were so kind and sent so many messages. It really meant a lot to me, and it was a very scary moment. I was also extremely lucky that Hallie was there. She's just amazing and was so calm through it all and made me laugh even though I was just like probably literally at my worst, just like emotionally. But I think she was just really just a champ and was there for so many hours and really helped me. So I was very lucky that she was there, first of all, and that she is who she is. So thank you, Hallie, so much. But I'll tell you a little bit about what happened. So if you don't know, right now in Korea is like insanely hot. If you know me, like usually, like this is usually me with a 2 liter of water all the time. At school, I probably drink like 4 liters of water a day. I don't know, I'm just always drinking water because first of all, I'm a teacher, so my voice is always dry, and then I'm really worried about dehydration. It's something I'm always concerned about, and I'm always telling people to drink water. On this particular day, I had gone to a cafe in the morning and I had drank water, but I had some water, but it was so hot and we were like in the sun taking photos, and I definitely did not drink as much water as I should have then. And after that, we went to the Bayman Chicken event, which was basically the Chimelier event, which was tasting chicken, which was a unique experience in and of itself, which was basically we were locked in a room for 2.5 hours, and they gave us one bottle of water, which I drank, but it was definitely not enough water for me, and we weren't allowed to leave the room. So I think that also contributed to the fact that I was incredibly thirsty. So as soon as we left, we had gone we were at Lotte World, and we had gone into the mall, and like for 20 minutes we had been shopping a little bit. I didn't buy anything. I was just like browsing. It was cool in there. So I think it's part of the heat issue was that we got on the subway, and the subway was like a cool temperature, like 75 or something. It was nice. And then we got out of the subway, and I had been experiencing a little bit of pain at the time, but I was like fine. And then we got into the subway, the platform. And if you've ever been to Sungsu Station, which is on line 2, it's like a greenhouse. It's beautiful, and I've taken many photos there, but it's all glass, and what had happened, it became like an oven on this day. So as soon as we got onto the platform, I bet you the real feel was like 120. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm being dramatic. Like, Hallie said it was really hot too. Like, she definitely felt it. But we went from like 75 to like 110, and my body shut down. Now there's like a big like huge stairwell at the station. So I remember, like clearly I can remember getting out and being really hot and being like, Hallie, I don't feel good. And then I was like, okay, let's just go downstairs. And then she's like, okay, I'll go get you some water. So I got down the stairs, and I can remember getting down the stairs, but after that I had this feeling of wanting to sit down because everything was started going black, and then the pain started to get really bad. It was abdominal pain, and after that it was pretty much like blurry. Like, I don't remember much. I remember like thinking like, okay, I should go to the bathroom and sit down, and so I remember trying to get there and like getting there, and then Hallie being like, I think we should call 911, and which is 119 in Korea. And so she went to, there's like the office, station office, and it was really well air conditioned, so she was like, let's go in there. So I do remember going in there, and I remember like making myself just lay down on the couch. Funnily enough, the thing I was most worried about was like leaving my shoes on, and so I was like, oh, I have to take my shoes off, I'm sitting on the couch. It's just something so weird that it happened. So I was in there for probably about 5 minutes, and then the ambulance came. Now, the ambulance was super fast, and I remember being worried about the price of the ambulance because, like, if you're American, you know that if you have to pay for an ambulance, it could be like up to $2,000 depending on where you're going. This one I think ended up being $20, so thank God. But we got into there, and then I don't remember much about what happened in this because at the time I was shaking so bad, and I was like sweating so much, and maybe I was going in shock, like my hands had gotten really numb and cold. I think that was shock, because I was in so much pain. I couldn't like unfurl myself, like I was completely crouched when it was happening. And we were mostly worried that it was an appendicitis because a lot of the pain was on this side. It wasn't appendicitis, but that's what we were most concerned about. I think that's why I said to call, because I know that that's the side that you have the appendicitis would happen on, so that's what we were really worried about. But the EMT was like making jokes, or wasn't making jokes, but he was like, his English was fun, like he was saying some things that sounded funny. So I remember like Hallie laughing and me laughing, even though like I don't remember much about what he was saying at all. And then we get out, and so we go to the emergency room, which is where I was for 8 hours on Sunday night. And the interesting thing about this is that like in Korea, health is just viewed very differently. So like, you know, I'm just sort of laid out in this space, like everyone around me, like they never like close the curtains often. Like it just, you're always out there, everyone can see what's happening, everyone can hear what's happening. It's like a very intense experience in the ER, as you can imagine. There were tons of people there for heat related issues, but mine was not really the heat at all. It's just that the heat definitely exacerbated the pain that I was in. So an interesting thing about Korean hospitals is that the guardian who comes in with you basically should do everything for you, which is not something that I understood. I think Hallie like had some concept of this, and she was like a total trooper. She had to do everything with me, from like going to the bathroom, doing anything. She was there with me. And it was really intense, and I'd say like a lot of the doctors spoke English really well, which was great, but for the most part, there's like the thing we have with bedside manner, it doesn't translate to Korean. So I think I was more afraid because the doctors weren't like giving me reassuring like smiles or any of those like clues you look for when you can't understand what someone's saying. And like I couldn't, like I swear all my Korean was like out the window. I couldn't understand basically anything, because I was in pain and like I wasn't focused at all. And they were giving me IV drips at the time, and like it was making me tired. They were taking so much blood, and like normally if they take blood from me, I'm instantly tired, because I'm like, if you can see, like I have really dark circles, like I'm usually pretty like anemic, so that was really fun because I was so loopy and they're asking me so many questions. So that was just an intense experience. At the end of the day, you know, we basically had continuous doctors coming up to us. I had a CT scan, which was pretty expensive, but still much cheaper than America, an x-ray. I had like tons of blood tests done, so many things done, and I don't even remember the whole experience because I think I was going in and out of like loopiness and like tired, and like the pain subsided after about an hour and a half, so it was less pain, but then I became more exhausted because my body had been like so like tight and like clenched and just like in pain, that once it started being less pain, I felt so sore. So it was just an intense experience, and I'm so lucky that Hallie was there and like helped me with it. If you do have to go to Korean hospitals, some of the best things about it, like the price was, for all the 8 hours I was in an emergency room and got huge tests done, it was under $400, and I have insurance because I'm a teacher here, so that was really amazing to me, because when I went to pay the bill, and you pay the bill like right after you leave, and I was sort of like, oh god, like is this gonna be intense? And it was a reasonable amount, like for the fact that I was in an ER and they had given me, like I'd done so many tests, and like it's very efficient. They're constantly moving you from place to place to place. I'd say the hardest parts for me was like the lack of communication about what we were waiting for, what was going to happen next. And I can totally understand in ER that they're not trying to be like patient-centered, because at that moment they're trying to keep people alive because you're in an ER and it's that intense thing. But I think the language barrier made me more like fragile and like emotional, because I couldn't understand what was going on, so I kept panicking more and more. And I don't know if I was visibly panicking. I'd have to ask Hallie this, because I feel like I seemed very sedate, but internally I was like, what's happening. But it was definitely an intense experience, and I am so lucky she was with me, because what if I had collapsed like alone? What if someone had thought I was drunk or something? Like, what if no one had called the ambulance? Like, all of those different things, like I can't imagine what would have happened. So thank you for all of your love and support, and I'm feeling better, and I've just been resting all week. I have some plans next week to go to some cool places and show you guys, but probably while it's still this hot, I'm gonna try to just really like lay low, and I hope you guys understand, and I love you so much. Bye everyone.